Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Okay.
This is hard.
Yeah.
The day you start to the day you say goodbye, there's going to be obstacles and hurdles. There's going to be a wall in front of you. You don't just stop and stare at the wall. You run through it, you climb over it, you go around it. You just got to keep going. Always remember why you did it and stay focused on it. And it's you got to be very, very tough.
Welcome back, everybody. We are doing a 10-part series on how to have success in the restaurant industry. I have Nelson with me, who's the co-founder of the Hunt and Fish Club, a super successful steakhouse here in Manhattan, New York. And he's given his 10 lessons. We are on the last one, which is about mindset. So talk to us. What's the mindset we need to have success as a restaurateur?
Jim Valvano, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Okay.
This is hard.
Yeah.
There are, from the day you start to the day you say goodbye, there's going to be obstacles and hurdles. There's going to be a wall in front of you. You don't just stop and stare at the wall. You run through it, you climb over it, you go around it. You just got to keep going. Always remember why you did it and stay focused on it. And it's you got to be very, very tough. There's a lot of employees in this kind of a restaurant. A lot of personalities, a lot of peaks and valleys, more valleys at times than peaks.
Right.
But you need a mindset of you can get through anything. There's nothing crippling except closing. Everything else, you can kind of figure it out. It's degrees of hard. Having said that, I'm certainly not a hero. It gets really hard. And there's a lot of stuff you can control, some stuff you can't. But what you could always control is your reaction to it. Like we've had days where on some incredibly busy days, the sprinkler system in the kitchen goes off. And everyone there is drenched. And I have to tell 200 people, can you come back tomorrow?
Wow.
It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and on what day. If you're lucky, it's lunch and there's 3 people sitting here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not. So, but the mindset is be loyal to your own morality, why you did this, what you expect out of it, and just keep challenging yourself to get yourself back to that center. Like, this is why I'm here. This is what I want the place to smell like, look like, touch like, feel like. This has happened to us, and I have to get around it to get back to that center. And it's always get back to the center and keep going.
What's the center for you? What does that look like?
A few hundred people sitting here laughing, smiling, loving what they do, writing good reviews, giving me a hug and telling me they're going to come back, and getting a call and saying, my kid is coming in tomorrow with this on a first date. Can you make him look really good in front of the new girlfriend and all of that? And I love that stuff. So, because then I feel like going back to one of the earlier discussions, I feel like I'm in party mode. Right? I want this to be a party and it's a fun place. People don't go out to restaurants to have a lousy time.
Right.
They want to like it. They want to be happy. They want to feel like they got their money's worth. They want to feel like they were paid attention to. It's for you to lose. Like, they come in wanting that. So you already have a leg up. They don't come up here and go, show me. Yeah, maybe a critic does, but for the most part, people come here because they heard something good. They want to have fun, or they just walk by and noticed you. But either way, they want a good experience, and they want to be happy, and they want to leave smiling. Our job is to get them to that. Whether or not everything is perfect, you still want them to get to that point. And on nights where we have that, and I hear the vibrancy of the room and people laughing and ordering drinks and staying longer than they thought, I love that stuff. It's very cool.
So when you get that 3 a.m. wake up because the plumbing system is broken,
not so cool.
Right. Maybe there's days where you're saying, why do I keep going? Why do I keep doing this? What do you come back to? What do you tell yourself?
I never get to the point of why do I keep doing this? I know I'm doing it. It's how do I get beyond this? Like, what has to happen? Right? Do I have to go in? Do I have to get on the phone? Do I have to write a bigger check than I planned? to like, do I have to apologize to somebody? Do I have to yell at somebody? It's not so much of why do I keep going? It's what do I have to do to get it to be okay again? And there's always an answer, right? Like there just always is. You have to figure out what is the answer, what's the fastest, most efficient way to get to that answer. And we've had some doozies of problems, and they're hard. But we're still here, which is proof there's always an answer. And you can't look to pass the buck. It's never a blame. Like as an owner or a manager, it's you. Everything is on us. I'm not a big fan of management or owners who don't ultimately take responsibility. Somebody has to be the person willing to make the last decision in any business. When I practice law, no matter what you are, everyone gets to kind of be a little frivolous until the last person. You know, when something bad happens and they go, well, screw them. Like, well, yeah, that's easy for you to say.
Right.
I'm the one who has to live with the consequence of screw.
Right.
So somebody has to be, and I don't mean this to sound arrogant. If it does, I'm sorry. Somebody has to be the grown up in the room and be the last voice on anything and everything. And here, you know, it's no exception. Restaurant, any other business. Somebody has to be the last voice and is willing to take ultimate responsibility. And as long as you have that, it doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. If you make mistakes, like you can't make a decision if you're afraid of making a mistake, right? So you make the best decision, you trust it's a good one, and you also trust your ability to say, if I'm wrong, we'll do something else. But either way, we'll eventually get to where we need all of this to go. Like when you run out of money, what do you do? When the kitchen implodes, what do you do? There's all kinds. Whatever it is, you think of it, we've dealt with it, so is every other restaurant owner. In your line of work, in the law firm, we've all had this junk where you say, oh, crap, what do we do?
Right.
You got to figure it out. And if you make the wrong choice, life goes on. Do something, it's okay. A wrong choice is significantly better than no choice. And and don't point fingers, take responsibility. That's all.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs who are great in a crisis, but then struggle to keep the consistency high when everything is smooth. So like there's a crisis, great, let's handle it. But then now that everything's back to normal, how do you not stay complacent? And I know like your messaging has always been like good enough is never good enough. There's always. So how do you make sure that you're not just, you got your restaurant and it's a good restaurant and it's great, but it's like we're pushing to be bigger.
Well, there's the business side of it, which is we want to be bigger and whatever. Then there's the hospitality side. And I always use baseball references, but what Joe DiMaggio referenced once, why he runs so hard every place, because there's somebody who never saw him play before.
Okay.
Every night we're having somebody who's never eaten here before. If somebody's had 99 really good experiences and you have one mediocre, you never want that to happen. But chances are they'll come back again. It gets up to 2 or 3, maybe not. But if you're 0 for 1, you're never going to see that person again.
Right.
Right? So I kind of like every night you're starting at 0. Like there's a whole new bunch of people and you got to start all over and they have to have the same experience that the guy who was here a week ago Thursday. And you're always starting over again. So like you can't be complacent. Somebody's going to walk in their door for dinner and they don't want to see your complaint. They don't care that you were good yesterday or you had a good review on Eater or whatever. I mean, who cares about that? Like they're coming in, sitting down, spending money. It's like they want to have fun too.
Yeah.
And if they have a lousy time, they're going to tell them, well, everyone here yesterday really liked us. Like that doesn't help you.
Right.
So there's built-in motivation that every day you're at 0 again. There's a new customer with a new experience and it's a new day, a new night, whatever it is. And you got to perform every day. If you're on a Broadway show, like you get to take some days off where you just give a mediocre performance. Years ago, I did some stand-up comedy way back when I was youthful and funny. I'm neither anymore. And
That's pretty funny.
There's an art to telling a joke and making it sound like you might have said it 500 times. The audience doesn't. If you're going to do that, just hand it. They can read it.
Right.
You have to sound like you've never said it before.
Deliberate, yeah.
Right? Every day you're starting over. and it's the first time for them.
Right.
And you have to perform as if it's the first time for them. So
Right.
I don't get the complacency thing. Like, I just don't get it. Different, but that's the one-off location. But that's different than my own motivation of wanting to be bigger, better, whatever, because I don't, either you grow or you shrink. I don't believe there's no such thing as par in this. Like, if you're not trying to get bigger, you're going to get smaller. So I kind of think you have to motivate yourself that way, but that's different than a customer experience. That's a running a business and trying to become more successful.
Do you have any habits or hobbies or things that who's reading Joe DiMaggio biographies or like things that set you up?
I actually did read it.
Okay, but like things that you find that maybe you may, like, people may not see. Well, how does Joe DiMaggio have to deal with the restaurant business? It feels totally disconnected. But but it's not. So there are other, like, those habits that you do that.
So no, I do read a lot.
Okay.
It's funny.
Biographies?
Mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I find people interesting. One of my favorite expressions, I don't think I heard of it. I think I thought of it,
Okay.
but I'm not positive, is exceptionalism is never random.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
That whether it's a baseball manager, is a good friend of mine, Tommy Lasorda, or Howard Schultz, or someone in finance, like, there's a reason these people got to the tops of their profession.
Yeah.
And when you read about them, you kind of try to see and, like, learn. It's never an accident, right? Like, Bill Gates had dinner here the other night, and there was nothing random about Bill Gates, right? You like him or not like him, that's irrelevant. He's not average, and neither is, I don't know, Michael Phelps or whoever. Like, pick anyone you want. There's a reason these people got to the tops of whatever it is they do. And yeah, I like reading about them. So is that a hobby? I don't know. My kids will tell you that it keeps me from going to their stuff. But really, I try to go to stuff. So yeah, I do like that stuff. Do I find it motivation? I find it interesting. I don't know if I'm self-motivated. Maybe there's a reason I choose to read that kind of stuff. But I do find it interesting.
Howard Schultz is one of my personal heroes.
Totally.
I've never met him, but just
Me neither.
from his content, and Onward was an amazing book.
Yes, it was. And he grew up near me. And I still never met. At least I don't think. Maybe we played basketball once when we were 12. I don't know. But I don't remember meeting him.
And who do you pick? Is it business people, sports stars? Like, what kind of bio would interest you in the bookstore?
Yeah, all of the above.
Anything.
Usually maybe somebody who's come to the restaurant, somebody gives me a book, things like that. It's just they find their way to me somehow. I guess people know I like that, so that's what they
Right.
give
And
me.
how are you reading every night?
I'm sorry?
Are you reading every night? How often are you reading?
Without sounding gross, as often as I go to the bathroom. I'm always in the middle of a book.
Interesting.
For the other parts of my life, I do a fair amount of traveling.
Yeah.
Airplanes are great for reading.
Yeah.
I get a lot done on airplanes. And now I do it on my phone. My wife taught me how to read the book on my phone.
Okay.
It's not the same experience, but it's a little easier on a plane.
Right.
So yeah, I'm always in the middle of something. And then I prioritize who's next. Sometimes people jump the list. He comes here a lot and we became somewhat friendly. Robert J. O'Neill,
Okay.
if you know who he is, the Navy SEAL who killed Osama
Osama
bin
bin
Laden.
Laden. Yeah. Okay.
I just got his book.
Okay.
And I gave it out as holiday presents this year. I had him sign
Okay.
like 50 of them. I gave them out to people. So he jumped ahead of a few other people in my pecking order.
Right.
I was at a function at my son's school, and he gave it out to a couple of his teachers he thought would like it as a holiday gift. And so one of them started to tell me about it. He started reading it, and he goes, "Oh, did you start yet?" I go, "No, it's next." He goes, and then he shut up because he didn't want, it's not a movie. It's okay.
Yeah.
But so that's how he was here. It's that's an interesting character. We became friendly, and it's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
So.
And you've talked a lot about family throughout the course of this series, whether it's your parents or your kids or your wife. How do you balance it? I mean, it's one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs
really
struggle with.
badly.
Okay.
Really, really badly. That is something I struggle with. It's not an easy topic. I often wonder if I'm shortchanging them in some ways, and I don't have any really great answers. I try not to. I hope I do it okay, but it's not so easy. It's getting a little better now that they're getting a little older, because when I come home late at night,
Yeah.
they're probably in bed, but at least they're awake.
Yeah.
It used to be I came home, they were already sound asleep.
Yeah.
So I'd get up early in the morning, even though I get in at times late at night. So at least I'd see them before they go to school. I try not to be here on the weekends to be home. But home means I'm still on my phone all day, because
Right.
this place is open and running. And
Right. Saturday night. Yeah.
and it's very hard to tell your kids no telephone at the dinner table when you're on your phone.
Right.
That's especially my 12-year-old who yells in front of it, no matter who else is there.
Okay.
Daddy, no phone.
Right.
But
We'll
that's
hold you
okay.
accountable.
I'm making light of it, but that's challenging.
Yeah.
And a lot of people struggle with it. I became a father later in life, so
Mhm.
maybe I don't take it for granted of, oh, this is what you need to do to support yourself.
Yeah.
It's not an easy question.
Yeah.
It's hard. So,
Well, I mean, we spent a lot of time together here, 10 episodes that people have been watching over 10 weeks. You shared a lot of wisdom, and I'm super appreciative for the time you spent and all the advice that you shared. And also just how humble you've been and willing to be vulnerable and really open up to try to give back. I'm super appreciative. If you had to leave one kind of final message for somebody who was thinking of getting into the restaurant business, they've watched all this, but what would you want to leave them with?
I'm not sure whether I say don't or go for it. Dig deep and make sure, and if you make the decision, don't go halfway. This is an all or nothing. There's no such thing as a restaurant that's, it's getting by. Either you're doing well or you're closing. So if you're not going to go all in, don't go in. But if you do go in, be prepared to go all in. And it's a lifestyle. It's not a job.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching this 10-part series. I hope you enjoyed. To learn more about Nelson and his amazing restaurant, go check out hfcnyc.com. We've also put the link in the description below. And if you want to watch this series again from the top, go click the link next to us. You can start on episode 1 again. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there.